Resolution. The resolution of the story is the point at the end of the story where the character learns all of their lessons and defeats the bad guy. Many young authors think the resolution of the story is the final battle. And though you may have a final battle at the end, that's always what I have in my stories, because mine are action adventure stories. If you were writing a mystery, then you would uncover the bad guy. If you are writing a romance novel, then the boy and girl get together. So the resolution is different depending upon the kind of story you're writing. But for my books, it tends to be a battle, but there tends to be something that the character learns in order to defeat the bad guy. So this is kind of a combination of the character flaw and the internal struggle and the character arc for the character, that through the whole story he's learning about how to be brave or how to face his fears or how to not be afraid of heights or something. And all of that stuff that he learns helps him to do something he couldn't have done at the beginning of the story so that he could destroy the bad guy. And so that resolution is really important. This is where Luke Skywalker destroyed Darth Vader. This is where Harry Potter finally had the courage to face Voldemort and not be afraid of him and have confidence in himself. This is where in the Lego movie, Emmett stands up to Lord Business. And so there's a piece of the internal struggle and the character flaw in that last resolution scene, which is very important. An example of this is at the end of my first book, Invasion of the Overworld. Game Knight 999 finally realized what it means to have friends when he sees what Crafter does. I won't say what he does in case some kids are watching this and haven't read it, but he finally learns what the true meaning of friendship is. And that enables him to do what he did. I'm not going to say that either. But that's all part of his character arc, and everything that happened to him led up to that moment so he can come to this realization. So there has to be a realization in the resolution, and he has to learn something. One of my favorite ones is in Inside Out, the Pixar movie. Joy and sadness at the end finally come to understand each other, and Joy realizes that sadness is important. In the Lego movie, Emmett tells Lord Business that he's a special too, that he's the most important person too. And he goes ahead and if you go to YouTube and you look up, I wrote it down here, Lego movie Emmett versus Lord Business. If you look up that little scene, you can see that great scene between Lord Business and Emmett, and then you'll also see it between Will Ferrell and the little boy with the curly hair, who's very cute. It's a fantastic scene because you're seeing the resolution of two different things, of the Lego characters, but also of the real characters, because they have that secondary story running behind the Lego movie. And that's what makes the Lego movie such a fantastic film, is they really structured the resolution really well. So when you leave that movie, you feel really good about yourself and you want to go see it again. And that's what they're counting on. So it's really important. You need to think about the resolution. Many times when I'm stuck writing a book, I will write this scene last, and I will decide what the resolution is and decide what can I have the character learn so that they can learn something and defeat the bad guy. And this is a great lesson for kids, because I like all of mine to have a lesson for kids. And if you read the quotes at the beginning of the book, that's kind of a hint at what the internal struggle and the learning is going to be. So sometimes I do it backwards, and I do it that way so that I know that I have a good resolution and I can work backwards and then figure out what the character's internal flaw is going to be. So these are some thoughts. This is a really hard part on writing. It's really hard to do this well. I wish I could do it as well as the Pixar guys do. They are masters at this, and that's why every Pixar movie is successful. So you can go back and study the Pixar movies. There's some books on Pixar movies. I guess I don't have it here. I used to have a book that would analyze the Pixar movies and show you examples of different types of features in the story and examples of how they do it, using in the story structure. And you can find that on Amazon. There's a number of books that analyze Pixar movies. But anyways, resolution, really important, really hard to write. You got to spend some time on this, but it'll really make your book sing if you get it right. Thanks.